Um, so, hello YouTube. Back from my snake pit experience at Metallica at London Olympic Stadium. On the Friday night, I found out I won the snake pit entry through one of my contests. So what happened was that you had to go to the box office and you had to take a photo ID with you. So the only form of photo ID I had with me was my passport. So I took my passport. And once you showed your passport, you already had your uh, pitch standing ticket here. That's what the wristband looked like. And the snake pit pass. This is what the snake pit pass looked like. For night one. That's Metallica's snake pit. There. So what happens is, as everybody, you go into the um, you go into the stadium with everybody else, and then you take your wristband off, and they put you on, and you go in. There's two entrances to the snake pit. One entrance to the snake pit is that you can go through where the bands go on and off stage, but when the bands go off stage, that entrance gets shut until the bands are off stage and when they're going on stage. So if you wanted to go in and out, there's you had to go through one of the, I think it's the south entrance. Um, Being in the snake pit was a great experience because you got to see everything from a different level. The sound, in itself, was it was loud, but you didn't go out with ringing sound in your ears because I imagine all the sound was projecting to the outer side more, so you got protected a little bit more. But it definitely was loud. And you notice famous people in there also. The singer from the Deftones was in there. I think the singer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers was in there. And Blaze Bailey was in there. And just the band members, I like to stand near. I stood near Lars, so I watched him play. But it's just like memorable moments from the night one were well, they started with Creeping Death, like they did a download, and Harvester of Sorrow. But then they did Holier Than Thou from the Black Album, and we got Of Wolf and Man from the Black Album. So those two good bits. The 72 Seasons tracks I enjoyed the most that night was If Darkness Had a Sun. That sounded phenomenal. Live, James's voice especially is excellent. Uh, Kirk and Rob Stoodle, they did Ian Jury's Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, and they did The Clash, Guns of Brixton. I think the other surprise in the set that they pulled out was Cyanide from 2008's Death Magnetic. That was really a heavy one live. And the instrumental we got was Orion for the first night, so much like Download in 2023. The hit sounded great as well, like Seek and Destroy, Master of Puppets, it sounded good, and we got Nothing Else Matters on the first night. But I would say the 72 Seasons highlighted song was If Darkness Had a Sun. That's just, I mean, that's the second time I've seen it now. It's like, we got Lux Eterna as well. And I enjoyed Fade to Black. But just like being in the snake pit, it was my 20th time seeing Metallica. So being in the snake pit was just sort of a real thing. I got Kirk gave me this. This is like an event plectrum from the evening. It's got the thing, and on the back of it, it's got a London bus on the back of it, so landmarks in London. The second time in the snake pit, I was a volunteer to hand out fan cards. These are the fan cards in Dogmail. I handed out these fan cards. How it happened is that I was a member of the UK Apocalypse chapter, and there was the chapter head, Rob, asked people around would they be up for handing out fan cards throughout the day if they're near, and can they get there for a certain time. I'm in Kent, so I could get there, so I put my name down for it, and I got through on the Sunday. So in exchange for handing out the fan cards, there was 25,000 fan cards to hand out. We were all placed on various bridges. I was on bridge 3, and the day started at 1:30 in the afternoon, where we all met outside bridge 4. And the surprise of the day was we met the nice members of staff that work for the fan cards. They followed the tour throughout, and they took us back to the catering. So we got a meal for the start of it all. And the funny thing was about it was that as we were approaching where the fan cards were, they were inside like a workspace. It was all Pantera's gear, so you got to see Pantera's equipment, which was what it said Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. So we weren't allowed to take any pictures though, so I just left it. So, and then we got to go into catering and have a meal before the day started. I wasn't expecting that, so the meal was very nice. I opted for fried chicken and chips. And so I had 3 boxes of cards, of which all I had to do was, you had a sticker which says working. Unfortunately, you didn't get to keep the sticker, they took the sticker back at the end of it. So I just stood in front of the bridge and gave them to the people as they walked through. I think it started at roughly about 2 o'clock, and we finished at about 5:30. Pantera were already playing by the time we were just about to finish. I mean, we only missed 3 songs from Pantera, but I did miss Strength Beyond Strength, which was a bit disappointing when I heard it from outside. Pantera sounded absolutely phenomenal. Once we were finished handing out the fan cards, we were given our snake pit pass for the day. That's it here. That's the snake pit pass we got. Now most people frame these, but I'm not trusted with a hammer and nail, so I'm not too sure what I'm going to try and look after these for eternity. We got into the snake pit, made some new friends. Jake being one of them, Dot being one of them, Laura being one of them. We all went into the snake pit, and we still got to see the majority of Pantera set, which was a plus. Because I seen Pantera at Wembley Arena in 2024, but I was right at the back. So for this time, I was at the front and got to see Phil up close, who's quite humorous as he always is. They played Becoming, which I was there for Becoming, so I was quite happy with that one. And they played This Love, which I was there for that one. They sounded great. Now, being in Metallica mosh pit for the second night, you know you're going to get the explosions and the flames. We got several flames for fuel for the first night, so I knew that when they come up, they are really hot, and they sort of you can feel Metallica's flames. but it looks like there's sort of like some fluidy. When you see them up close, you think it's from afar you think it's fire, nothing but fire. It looks like the illusion that there's fire, but when you're up close, you can see sort of like blue in the middle of it. So it might be like water or something. I don't know really. It looked like water, in the colour of fire, and they managed to just make it warm. I'm not too sure how much of it is water, but up close you can see blue bits. So for the second night, we got well, they started off with Whiplash, as they normally do for the second night. Lars was on full throughout the whole thing. The only two members that didn't really come to where we were standing was Kirk and Rob. Like they were just like all around. We got James quite a lot. I got a few good close-up pictures of him. I didn't get many videos. I got the video of Rob from Wherever I May Roam, where he was on a table being pushed through the pit. In this pit today, I was standing next to none other than Blaze Bailey from Iron Maiden. And it's funny when you see these famous people, they're just like there. I left him alone, but I'm not too sure if he wanted to be bothered or not. But it's just like he stood next to me for a while. Then he went off to someone that asked for a picture. He was happy taking pictures of people. I thought I'd best leave him alone, just like a normal person to do. But I also met the photographer Ross Halfin, who was going in and out of the snake pit. So today we got Ride the Lightning on the surprise bit. So we got For Whom the Bell Tolls, and we got Ride the Lightning. But For Whom the Bell Tolls is not really a surprise, but I guess Ride the Lightning was the surprise. And then, so we got Fuel one night. So the next night, that means we're going to get The Memory Remains. And for the chorus bit, we were really, really loud. Well, there's 80,000 of us in there, so it's like it wasn't as loud as Wembley Stadium in 2007, though. That one went on forever. Other highlights, we got the 72 Seasons, the title song. Still think that's a brilliant opener from the album. On the first night we got Hardwired, so that was the thing. So on the first night we got Hardwired. On the second night we got Moth Into Flame, and that's where the flames happened. But I don't think James sung the second verse of Moth Into Flame. He just seemed to skip it out, which he normally does that sort of thing. So after that bit, the instrumental we got was the Call of Cthulhu, which is my favourite instrumental. So that was one of the highlights for me. Another highlight for me was Blackened. The song from Death Magnetic we got, which was The Day That Never Comes. That was a good one for me. We got Wherever I May Roam, as we usually get, and then it was time for one. Now the explosion. Now for one we get fire and we get explosions. When you're inside the snake pit, the explosions almost knock you off your feet. So it really is like it's like a groundbreaking. It's like you're in the center of like this all these explosions going off, which is quite funny. So we got the Unforgiven, and during Kirk's solo he came up to where we were and played the solo in front of us. I'm unaware of his t-shirts, really what they represent, and he was wearing a t-shirt that said he is a CIA something, which is quite humorous. It's got quite a lot of notoriety on the internet, but I'm not too sure what it is. I don't sort of follow that sort of stuff. But yeah, that was good. But the highlight for me was, well, the Call of Cthulhu is in my top 5 Metallica songs, so I'll give it to that one. And the Call of Cthulhu, Blackened, and We Got Whiskey in a Jar as a cover song, which is under here. And for Kirk and Rob's Doodle, they did a Black Sabbath Electric Funeral. And they did, for me, well, they didn't do the Stranglers. I thought they were going to do Features, which would be the highlight for me if they did Features. But they didn't. They did Holidays in the Sun by Sex Pistols, which was good enough. And they are the next band I'll be seeing. It was closed off with obviously Enter Sandman. That was the one that was going to close it off. But for the second night, the time it just flew by. For the second night, there was like the second night was more the they balanced it out well because they played the hits like The Memory Remains, The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, One, Moth into Flame, Enter Sandman. But they also did the ones full of fans like Whiplash, Whom the Bell Tolls. Even though it's a hit, it's still one of my favourites. Riding Lightning, it's just like classic Metallica. Blackened and the Call of Cthulhu. And they put Screaming Suicide in and 72 Seasons in. On Screaming Suicide, I'm still it's alright. It's one I don't normally go back to, but it's okay. It's not the best on the album by the far, but overall I say they got the mix okay. But they got some people that die hard and some people the people that like the popular stuff. I mean, they have got to play to the people that like the most popular stuff. This is what they're going to get. I mean, you're not going to get Bleeding Me. You're not going to get The Thing That Should Not Be Now. Probably you're not going to get Dyer's Eve. You might do it at special events. You're not going to get Fixer. You're not going to get the Outlaw Tour. You're never going to get Escape again. You're never going to get The Phrase of Insanity again. So, I mean, they only pulled out The Shortest Straw once, I think, and that was in Hamburg, Frankfurt, or somewhere like that. So you might get that one again. But I did manage to get Plectrum. I didn't get an event Plectrum this time, but again, it was Kirk, he told me, and I got a Master of Puppets collection from Kirk. And on the back of it, Master of Puppets 40th anniversary there. And I got this one from Rob of all people. And it looks like a guitar collection. It's like a 72 Seasons Team Nocturnal. So overall, I had a really good couple of days. But be up there with my top Metallica experiences. That was shows number 20 and 21, so not brilliant. But they didn't break into my top 3 Metallica gigs. But for the overall experience, it's probably up there with meeting them, I guess. So up there with the meet and greet I had at Wembley. It's just like something different like that. But to all those going to the Sphere in October, I think they're going to have a brilliant time there. They might put out some more surprises there. But overall, it was an excellent time seeing them and a great experience handing out the fan cards. So I definitely would do something like that again for the next one. So yeah, I'll give it. It'll probably go. Not in my top 3. So my top 3s are Wembley Stadium 2007, Donington 2006, and the O2 Arena 2009. And just that, then it will be the Nebworth meet and greet in 2009. So it will just be about 4th or 5th best time I've seen them. I'll have it at the 5th. So yeah, you have to sort of go through the time they played your favourite songs and so forth. But they did play the Call of Cthulhu, and they did play Blackened, and they did play Riding Lightning, and they did play Whiplash. And they did play Harvester of Sorrow. So overall, it's a fantastic weekend. So if I'm going to see them throughout the rest of the year, you're going to have a great time. So this episode. See you tomorrow on the next one.